Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of New York Sports Report. I'm here with Cole once again. Cole, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you, Mason?
I'm doing pretty good. We probably had what a week or two off, nothing too crazy going on with New York sports.
No, not really.
Well, I mean, there's been a few things that we'll, go over. First off, I mean, there's not too much as far as our teams with, the NFL. Everything's set, Jets and Giants, in the draft orders. I mean, there's just really been mocks and stuff like that. Have you really been seeing anything, other than, have you been seeing any new updates as far as what the Jets could be looking for?
Nothing too crazy. At least not with the first pick. At least our
Yeah.
first pick in the first round. I did see a couple mocks that had us taking Ty Simpson with our second pick in the first round.
Mm,
Um,
boy.
which isn't anything too new. He's obviously there's been mocks that have had us taking him since the season was still ongoing. But that is something new at that pick, and especially since Dante Moore has since
Yeah.
decided to stay in college. So that was about it.
Yeah. So, how would you feel about using a first for Ty Simpson?
Um, Honestly, I feel I'm even less high on Ty Simpson than I was Dante Moore.
Yeah, I
So I'd
agree.
really rather not use a first round pick on him. If you want to
Mhm.
take him in the second, I guess I think there's other guys I'd rather take than him. Um, But I don't think he's also not the worst quarterback in the class. There are plenty of other
Mhm.
guys that I would rather us take him over. So there's that. But yeah, no, I would definitely rather us use that second first round pick on another position that we need, particularly something either on defense or a receiver.
Yeah, yeah, I completely get that. Yeah, Giants, I mean, pretty much same thing. We really been looking at, I think it's between the two of a wide receiver, either Cardinal Tate or Jordan Tyson, which I'd rather take Cardinal Tate just because I'm worried about Tyson's injuries at Arizona State. I think he's a big body receiver, a great receiver, but it just comes down to all the injuries and times he's been out. Um, And then yeah, if we're not gonna take Carnelty, I'd much rather take uh, Caleb Downs. I think he's exactly what we need. He's a true number one DB that we could use, um, and he'd immediately impact our defense, just physicality wise and just everything in general. So I know the Jets, or you want the Jets to take Caleb Downs as well.
Yeah,
Could you see
great
them
guy.
taking him at two?
Um, I think we could. I honestly, I think it's kind of up in the air right now with who we take at two. I think there's a lot of different options. Um,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Reese, the linebacker out of Ohio State,
Arvin
looks like
Reese. Yeah.
yes. It looks like that's kind of who we might take as of right now. At least that's what I've been
Okay.
seeing the most in the mocks. So I wouldn't be upset with that. We definitely could use another linebacker, especially considering Jermaine Sherwood and Quincy Williams, especially Quincy Williams, both didn't have the best years. So
Mhm.
it would be nice to have a solid linebacker for sure. But really, we just need. I mean, we really need a good defensive tackle. We need guys in the secondary. So really, we just need guys all over on defense. So I honestly, if we get any of the highly ranked defensive players coming out of this draft with that second pick, I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah, because I saw mocks of you guys taking Bane at 2, which, I mean, he's been a dog
Yes,
throughout
he,
that
yeah,
season.
he was great for Miami. I did see that. I'm not sure if we will take him. Again, I wouldn't be against it, but there's other guys I would like to see us take over him, even though he is
Okay.
phenomenal. Just because I think our pass rush is pretty good. Um, Obviously, it's hard to have too many guys that are good at that in that area, but um,
Mhm.
overall, I think that's one of our better like our better areas on defense. So I'd rather see
Yeah.
us get somebody that can really help in coverage, but. overall, I wouldn't be upset with him or a guy like Peter Woods out of Clemson.
Yeah, yeah. Peter Woods is a dog. I saw the Giants were high on wanting him like before the season even started this year, just in mock drafts and stuff, like way too early stuff. So obviously, I don't think we're gonna take him. I think that we could. Right now, I've been seeing receiver, O line, or DB, and Caleb Downs. So I think if we take any of those, I'd be very happy. Um, and just hopefully get the rest of the draft right. Uh, so I mean, yeah. Do you have any other kind of expectations or hopes for the draft?
Um, for the draft, not so much. I mean, I've already said kind of what I would like the Jets to get in the first round,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
and even in the second round. Just really defense and the receiver. Which they did mention potentially getting Malachi Lemon out of USC with the second pick
Mm.
with our second pick in
He's
the
he's
first round.
good.
He is.
Yeah.
He's a pretty solid receiver. So I wouldn't be upset about getting him either. But a couple of rumors I have seen. One was us potentially trying to make a trade for Max Crosby,
Oh,
which
gee.
yeah, which would be interesting for sure. Um,
Yeah.
Obviously it's hard to say no to a move like that, especially when you get rid of a guy like Quentin Williams, who
Mhm.
he was a big part of our defense up front. So getting a guy that obviously you're not going to replace him at that position, but someone else that can really create pressure like that, it definitely wouldn't hurt.
Yeah. So I've been also seeing kind of other stuff too, where you guys could potentially trade, a pick for, Kyler Murray or something like that, or go after
Yeah.
Kyler Murray. How would you feel about that?
Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the idea, just because I think there's
Yeah.
other guys that are kind of like a similar skill level that will take a lot less to get. Um,
Mhm.
and I'm not expecting much this coming season. So I mean, like especially with our schedule, it's not an easy schedule again.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting
Feel
maybe
that.
4 to 5 wins. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
so honestly, I think there's a lot of other guys I'd rather have over Kyler, and
Yeah.
nothing against
Let's
him.
talk
He
about
showed,
that.
yeah, he's. I mean,
Let like
Kyler showed.
who would Oh, my bad.
No,
Go ahead.
sorry. No, you're good. You're good. What were you saying?
So like who do you want I guess who is kind of on your list for the Jets to potentially pursue as far as a quarterback in free agency or just, even like a smaller trade for like a
Um,
placeholder this year?
for a placeholder, I would much rather see us go get a guy like either Malik Willis or Mac Jones. Um, just obviously they performed good on Green Bay and the Niners, which two very different teams from us, much more
Very,
complete,
yeah.
a lot more
Mhm.
talent overall. So I'm not expecting either of those guys to play nearly as good as they did on those teams. I
Mhm.
won't, yeah, I won't like get delusional about all that. But I would rather just have those guys just because I think overall they will be easier to get for a cheaper price. And they are with Kyler, he is obviously a shorter quarterback. And
Mhm.
not that you can't be a shorter quarterback and be successful. It's just, it's going to be hard for him, especially when our offensive line is the way it is.
Right.
So
It's
I would just
it's
rather have someone else.
Yeah, it's already a rough situation, kind of with what you guys have now, and then adding someone like that to where they have their own issues, with their franchise. It's like a double negative to where I wouldn't
Yeah.
think would make a positive.
No, I don't believe so.
Um, Yeah, so I mean, I know a lot of teams, or at least Grant, and he wants the Dolphins to pursue after Malik Willis, and they got pretty much a whole new front office, and I kind of want to segue into that. How do you feel about the whole head coaching thing going on, where everyone's just going out of everywhere, just firing head coaches left and right?
I mean, it's not terribly surprising. I mean, it was just a weird year for the NFL. I mean, it was cool,
Mm-hmm.
honestly. It was a very exciting season, but
Oh
there
yeah.
was quite a few teams that definitely underperformed, and it's not terribly
Mm-hmm.
surprising to see all these coaches get fired. Obviously, some more than others were a little surprising, like
Yep.
guys like Harbaugh and McDermott.
Mhm.
Definitely interesting to see them go. Um, and I'm sure you're very happy about getting John Harbaugh. Hopefully, he can
Absolutely.
change things up there for you guys, and I'm sure
Mhm.
um, McDermott will do just fine wherever he lands because I don't think he was the issue up there in Buffalo.
No,
Um,
I don't either.
and um, and it's just overall, I mean, it's definitely been crazy, but not like super unexpected to see a lot of these guys wind
Mhm.
up getting canned, but uh, especially with some of the names, like guys like even though again I don't think Stefanski, I don't think he was really the issue in Cleveland. I think he's a
Yeah,
fine
that's a
coach.
tough one. That's
Yeah,
that's a really tough one because I felt like most of the media was kind of on Shador's side throughout the whole season, where it was like, "Oh yeah, they're Stefanski and the whole Browns organization has it out for Shador. They're trying to,
yeah,
make him fail and stuff like that." Where I don't think any of that was true.
yeah.
And a
At
lot
least
of
not to
people
the
are high on
extent that
Stefanski.
yeah,
Yes.
at least not to the extent that the media played out to be. And I have nothing against
Mm-hmm.
Shador. I think he's a fine quarterback.
Right.
But I definitely don't think it, like they were saying how they wanted um, Dylan Gabriel to succeed much more than Sanders because that was Stefanski's
Mm-hmm.
pick. I just don't necessarily see that. Um, like you said, I think a lot of people kind of at least in the media were much more they're very much so on Shadur's side in that whole
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we saw McDaniels out of Miami get fired.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of
Which
other
not too
teams.
surprising in my opinion, but
No, I think they wanted him gone, like in a Harbaugh or what's his name? Shoot, Brian Dable kind of situation where he gets
yeah,
let go in the middle of the season, um, and just because they weren't producing. And then what else is open? Steelers, Mike Tomlin stepping down. That was, I think, pretty.
yeah,
I think it was kind of everyone kind of saw it coming where either he was going to get, I kind of expected him to get fired
yeah,
because you see Harbaugh go, and then it's like, okay, it's only a matter of time for Talman to go as well. And then he steps down, says he's, going to take the year off, which, I completely understand. Been coaching there
yeah.
for
19
so
years, I think.
long. It's something crazy, yeah. So, now they're head coach is open their position and just the Falcons obviously getting Stefanski and I think Brown's situation still open. Sala
It
goes to the
is.
Titans.
Yep.
I think that'll be interesting. How do you feel about that as a former Sala team?
Honestly, I'm happy for him. I think he deserves a second chance. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think he was the best coach, but I definitely think he was far from the worst, especially
Right.
when he came onto the team right after Adam Gase, who is quite possibly one of the worst coaches to ever coach in the NFL.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
and he had to completely turn that team around. Um, so I don't want to say he didn't get a fair chance because he had a decent team to work with, and it didn't
Mm-hmm.
work out. But a lot of that was also Woody Johnson in the front office too, just kind of it
Yeah.
almost like a similar situation with Brian Dable with you guys, almost giving up
Yeah.
on him a little too early before he could really kind of make the team that he wanted to.
Yeah.
But
Build the team. Yeah.
yeah, um, but I mean, I'm happy for him. And I hope it works out for him in Tennessee because I
Yeah.
personally didn't have many issues with Salah.
Yeah, I mean, I liked him, and it felt like a weird. When he was with the Jets, it felt like the Jets were picking Rodgers over Salah at that situation
Absolutely.
during that
Yeah.
time, and it was clear to see that Rodgers was making pretty much all the moves, and they were changing the entire team and organization to fit, just the chance of that he can play well. And he obviously didn't. And now the Jets organization and many other coaches and, even players had to face the repercussions of, that whole 2 year stint. And,
Yeah.
then he goes to the Steelers, who, no shade, but it is a much better, managed team, our
No,
own
absolutely.
team. So,
Yeah.
um, it's just one of those things to where you bend over backwards to get, everything for to try and make it win for one guy, and then it just ruins kind of the future. So I know, my family or my grandpa, my mom, they were upset about the whole thing going on with Rogers. I know you were
Mhm.
frustrated with it, your dad, your family. So it's just one of those things. And I think Sala was, like I mentioned, like a repercussion or on the bad end of that whole situation. And I think a lot of people did like Sala, but like you said, he wasn't given a fair chance. And I feel like if you don't have a glimpse of success or kind of anything to where there's a path for the next few years to come, you're getting the boot. And it's crazy. I kind of made a comparison on GM Sports where it's like NFL coaching carousel is kind of like college is now, to where if you're not performing in 2, maybe 3 years, you're gonna get cut or, get fired. So,
Yeah.
that's kinda like a comparison I made.
Yeah, I think the parallel is definitely there with that. So I see what you're saying, 100%.
Mhm. Yeah, but yeah, real quick, I mean, uh, Mike McDaniels, it said today on one of the accounts on Instagram, it said that he was going to interview for the head
For the
coach of the
Bills,
Bills
yeah.
team, and he just recently accepted the role of offensive coordinator at the Chargers.
hmm
So Cole, what do you think of that?
Um, I thought that situation was a little weird. I
Yeah, me too.
mean, obviously, I'm not an NFL head coach coordinator, so I'm not entirely sure
Yeah, yeah,
what the process is like there. I mean, I assume the Chargers were open to him doing that, or else
yeah,
he would not be able to go back to that position if he doesn't get the
mhm,
Bills head coaching job.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so I mean, I guess it is what it is in terms of that. I'd much rather see him go to the Chargers than the Bills because I
yeah.
mean,
I think
well,
so.
because I think I think he could be a very good offensive coordinator on a
Yes, yeah,
a solid team. Honestly, I'm not sure how he'll do as the head coach of the Bills, but either way, I'd rather just see him out of the division.
yeah. I
So
understand.
that's my opinion of it. But
I think that the Chargers, like in this situation where he is probably one of the best spots for him to be after what he kind of went through and how the Dolphins' whole situation unfolded.
yeah,
It was not nearly as much pressure on the head coaching, side of things. I mean, he does have Herbert, who's a good quarterback, but he can't get over the playoff hump. There's a lot of teams and quarterbacks who can't get over the playoff hump. We saw a guy who thought was gonna play at least decent in C.J. Stroud, and he threw for 5 interceptions and had 5 fumbles, excuse me, in
yeah,
what 2 or 3 games, something crazy. So
yeah, I believe too.
yeah, so it's insane how different situations can just absolutely blossom and just make things go a whole different way. But
Yeah,
given that I am very excited as a Giants fan to have Harbaugh, he got to work very early. He cut probably like I think 8 or 9 of the remaining coaches from Brian Dable's staff, and
mm,
there's some fans who are happy about it, but also not happy about it because I guess our O line coach Brasillo or whatever his name is, he was a very good O line coach, and O line played well, and he got fired. So some New York Giants fans are not too excited about that. But I'm like, if you're gonna give the keys to this man and let him, do what he has to do, I have full faith. I mean, we didn't really have any other direction before him. I mean, clearly we have, Dart and all those young guys, which is a big reason why he came. So, I'm just excited to let him do his thing. He's not gonna come in and try and actively make it a bad situation for himself because at the end of the day, he still has a Hall of Fame career on the line for himself. So this is like, call it a rebound from the Ravens. I'm surprised how fast he moved on. I'm not gonna lie, but hopefully it all works out.
Yeah, and I'm sure it will for you guys. Obviously, you have a very good young core of talent, and like you said,
Mhm.
I'm sure that's a big reason, big part of the reason why he decided to go to the Giants compared to some of the other
Mm,
available head coaching jobs that were available. Um, and I mean, like you said, I mean, obviously, John Mara said that he was going to have a lot more power than Brian Dable did when he was that coach
mhm.
there. Having the authority to kind of go over, is it Joe Schoen? Is that how you say his name?
Joe Shane.
Joe Shane. All right, that's it. I couldn't remember,
Yeah.
but obviously there'd be
Yeah, it's weird.
yeah, the option to go over his head,
Mhm.
which I think that's honestly a good move. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
Joe Shane's not coaching the team; he's just there to get you who you need. And John Harbaugh, obviously, he's gonna know what he needs to build a successful team. Um, Obviously, he did it down in Baltimore, so I think that's a good option for the Giants to let him do that. And like you
Mhm.
said, if you're going to give him the keys, I mean, you might as well go all the way. If he wants to completely rebuild the staff, I say let him.
Yeah, I'm in the exact same situation. I guess that like senior vice president or whatever of like 30 years, he got the
That's
boot.
that, yeah.
Like he was
Mm,
one of the first guys to get kicked out, and I was like, holy
mm.
crap! All right, he's making a statement early.
Yeah,
So
you
I
got
mean,
to
yeah, I'm
change the
excited.
culture.
Yeah, there's a long way to go. I don't think we'll be playoff material next season. I'd like to think we are. I could probably go all day talking about how we could be, just off of what I saw from this season, but I'm not going to do that. So, yeah, just excited. So, hopefully, both of our drafts go well. I mean, well, obviously, we're going to keep everyone updated as far as,
Informed. Yeah.
yes, if we like trade picks or whatever. I think that would come a lot later, closer to the draft, because that's when teams get a lot more desperate. So, obviously that's going to get updated. But yeah, do you want to go into the Knicks situation?
Sure.
The New York Knicks talk. So, how are we doing? What are we like 8 and
Eight
or
and
two
three in the
and
last
something
11.
or 2 and
Because we
3 in the
just won a.
last 11?
Yeah, because I think we just beat the Nets.
Yeah, we beat the Nets. Yeah, like a historic win, which is insane. Yeah, 3-7 in the last 10. So, we are third in the conference behind Boston and Detroit, who's been at 1 all season.
Mm,
Cole, it's still a tight race all the way through from 1 through 8. It's all separated by like
yeah, a
three,
couple
four
wins here and
games.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, how are you feeling right now as a Knicks fan?
Uh,
Are you concerned at all? Are you kind of eager to see something? How are you feeling?
Obviously, we're in a bad slump. It's just been the
Mm-hmm.
month of January has just been it's been a rough month for the Knicks.
Very
I
much.
can't say I'm terribly concerned. Obviously, we're still third in the conference, so we're still in a good position. Um, and it's not like you said, it's not like we're far behind the Celtics. Where
Mm-hmm.
it's a game and a half, 2 game difference, I believe. So we're right there in second place. Obviously, Detroit's had a pretty firm grip on the first seed basically all season. So
Mm-hmm.
whether we catch up to them, we'll see. But either way, I'm not too worried about it. And obviously, Brunson calling a team meeting for players only. Him really showing his leadership. I think that was good to see, and obviously the historic win coming after that. Yeah, I know it's against the Nets, so it's not terribly. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
they're a great team. It's not super impressive in some people's
We
eyes, but I mean, a
we can't go
54 point
shouting we're
win is
back. Yeah,
yeah, no. But I mean, a 54-point win is a 54-point win. So
it is.
uh,
Yep.
I mean, compared to how we were playing against a team like the Mavs, who I won't say are worse than the Nets, but are not a great team in general right at the moment. So I mean, I think there's light ahead. I think we're kind of
Yeah.
getting out of this slump, and I think that our next game against the Sixers will be a really good
Yeah,
showing to see
good
how we
tell.
are playing. Yeah, so
Yeah,
we'll
so
see.
I'm glad you mentioned that players only meeting because the media after the Nets win or the one against the Nets, Josh Hart was asked about it, and he was pretty upset. He's like, there was no players only meeting. The media's been taking it way out of proportion, and we kind of knew what we had to do. We had a little talk here and there, but there's no players only meeting. So me seeing him say that, I'm like, all right, I guess they're frustrated after they just won a game like that, and Josh Hart was upset that they were asking that question. So I think that they're dialed in because they know that hopefully they know that changes and things will be made kind of closer towards the trade deadline, which I
Hmm.
don't know as far as or how drastic that things could get if we
Hmm.
weren't winning still. But I think I just found it so interesting him saying that, and it's like, wow, he's really getting on the media for that. And yeah, Cat said something. He's like, if losing the last however many games we have in a row, I think it was like 4 games, doesn't light a fire under you, I don't know what would. So everyone's already frustrated. So um, yeah, it's just very interesting to see kind of that locker room compared to where we were just a month ago, where it was one of the best months of basketball we've seen this Knicks team have.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, it's crazy.
that is, and that's funny that you mentioned that they said that there was no meeting. That's funny. I didn't even hear that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
To think that
I was looking
like
it
how
up
much
on.
the media was talking about
I
that game.
know
That's funny.
that's
I
why he
didn't
was
even hear
so
about that.
upset.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's interesting.
Um, I follow. I don't know if you have X or Twitter, and I follow a thing called like Knicks Muse or Knicks
Yeah,
Muse and like
I follow him on Instagram, but
okay,
that's
I
funny.
follow them
I didn't even
on
see that.
that, and then Nick's videos to where I follow a Giants videos one too, to where
Hmm.
any like kind of camp or anything, they'll just be the first to show kind of the videos of the players talking during the press
Hmm.
conferences and stuff like that, so you can get like real time updates on that. So I got that after the Nets game, and I'm like, oh man, they're pretty. He's pretty upset about that. I'm like,
Yeah, which is that's
well,
interesting to see out of Josh Hart.
yeah, yeah, I
It's
know.
very
Um,
unserious generally.
yeah, yeah, I want you to watch that afterwards. I'll probably
I
try
will
and send it to
absolutely.
you.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, hopefully they can win. Get on a little bit of a winning streak. Maybe not even a streak, but just play good basketball in some games when we need them to against teams that we should be beating. Because clearly the Knicks have not been, and I think that's where most of the frustration comes from. Not only from
Yeah.
players but from fans as well. So
Hmm. Absolutely.
I don't see us trading Cat for Giannis. I think Mike Brown shut that down. I think he even shut down Yabu getting traded or something like that too.
Mm. Yeah, I'm not. I'm kind of like in the in the middle in terms of like a cat trade for Giannis. I mean,
Yeah, me too.
obviously, a straight swap for Giannis and Cat, I would do in a heartbeat.
Without a
I don't,
doubt. Yeah.
I don't have any, like, I don't hate Cat the same way some people do. Like, you hear some Knicks fans talking
Yeah,
about him
yeah,
like
yeah.
like that trade never should have happened. He's one of the worst things that happened to the team, and
Well, the
that's just
same
not
thing happened
true.
with Randall. Yeah.
Exactly, it's just not true by any means necessary.
No.
But just what it would take to get Giannis is what concerns me. Obviously, I
Yes.
wouldn't be against the Giannis trade, but it really just depends on what we're giving up.
Hmm. And I think another thing, like kind of the piggyback off of that statement, is that I feel like everyone that would be involved has been such a big factor on why we were winning last month and why we were playing so
Hmm.
well. Because Shamit comes back, he started, doing very well. Even when he got hurt that Heat game before, he was balling out. So it's just Deuce obviously is a great player. Kolek, I would not want to see go. Kind of having his breakout year, a little bit quieter since Deuce and Shamit kind of being back in the rotation, but you still know
That's to
that
be
he has,
expected.
yeah, still has the ability to play. So
Hmm. Yep.
cool. Anything else you'd kind of like to touch up on the Knicks? kind of feel like we went over everything. Really need to win now, and that's kind of about it.
Yeah, and it really would be just great to finish out the rest of the month strong and just continue all the way up to the playoffs. That's about it.
Yep, 100%. So now we'll get into the most exciting offseason of Yankees history that I've ever had. Being a fan, we got the Cody Bellinger deal done. Once it happened, I'm like, all right, cool. Finally, it kind of felt like
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember. I'm sure you do. I mean, being as involved in sports as we have been, but the whole Ayuk deal that went down a few years ago, how that
Yeah,
kind
I
of
know.
contract happened. That's kind of how it felt,
Hmm.
not from a player standpoint, but like the GM or the excuse me, the
Yeah.
geez, what do they call him? I'm blanking. Uh, like their people that they talk to,
Oh,
like the
agent.
players. Yes, their agent. I don't know why I was blanking. I was thinking like GM. But
Yeah.
no, yeah, their agent Boris. I don't think anyone likes Boris in baseball. I mean, he's asked for
It
too
doesn't
much.
seem like it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nobody
and
was gonna give him 7 years. There was nobody that was gonna
no
give him
way.
that.
I mean, he had a great year. Don't get me wrong, but I
Yeah.
mean, it wasn't his MVP caliber year that he once had
No.
with the Dodgers, and um, it feels like we're left exactly kind of where we were when we ended the season, minus some, and that's in the relief pitching, uh, spot.
Hmm.
We obviously
Hmm.
let go of Weaver and Devin Williams. They went to the Mets, and the Mets been making some moves after losing out on Kyle Tucker, who
Hmm.
went to the Dodgers. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be great to watch. Um,
Dodgers
yeah, I mean,
is incoming. Yeah.
it's just. Could you see a lockout happening that is being rumored?
I don't think we'll get a lockout, but I honestly think at this point, I know there's a lot of people that don't want to see it happen. But I know there's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people that do. I honestly think it wouldn't be a terrible thing for baseball to have a salary cap because the
Yeah.
Dodgers are almost they're kind of ruining this baseball at this point because it's like I mean they're just snatching up any talent that becomes available and it's
Mm-hmm.
honestly it's just like it's almost like gonna be like what's the point of watching the Yankees this season? Because even if we make the playoffs,
Yeah, right. That's how I'm feeling. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, we mentioned it, the last few episodes to where we struggled how bad we did with what we had, and we have not made any changes. And
yep,
the Dodgers, they're like, oh man, that World Series against the Blue Jays was way too close. Let's uh, let's go get some more star power. Who would be a number one on any other roster, or probably 28 other rosters. Um,
hmm
and just you know it's insane. I don't think
it
you can
really
really
is.
compare it to any other team, like in any other sport right now either. This is like a once kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I mean it's obviously last season everybody's like, oh yeah, the Dodgers are a lock for the World Series. They won it, and it
Yep.
seems like it's going to be the same thing again this year. I can't say there's any other team in at least like the big four for sports that I feel the same way about, except for them.
No.
At
No.
least not off the
Especially
top of
in
my head.
football right now, the question is the
Yeah.
biggest.
Oh God, no. Yeah.
Basketball, I mean, obviously the beginning of the year it was like, oh, Thunder could be like the 2016 Warriors or whatever, but that was never what happened, not even close.
Yeah. No.
Um,
Obviously, the
and
Spurs have kind of handled them.
yes, they have. And hockey, I'm not too big on, so I don't know, the big teams and that would be even close.
Colorado is playing really good right now, and if there was a team,
Yeah,
I would say it's probably them. But I
yeah.
mean, I wouldn't say it's necessarily the same as the Dodgers, where it seems
The
like they're
extent,
almost
right?
yeah, it's like the Dodgers are almost guaranteed.
Yeah, right. But I mean, all those three other sports all have salary caps, correct? As far as NHL, I don't know much.
I I believe so. I'm not a huge.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah,
I
yeah.
enjoy watching hockey, but I'm not. It's not like football or basketball to me.
Right, because football, basketball, their basketball has like an Abram system, I think. they have a salary cap. Football obviously has a hard salary cap, and baseball. I mean, where would you even put the limit at this point? I mean, you have guys making
Which
over 700 million.
I know it's.
Um,
I mean, guys that are being
you put it at a billion. Say don't go
I
over a
know.
billion per player.
Yeah, it's even then. It's it's like, what's the point? It's
Right.
uh, and it's not like guys are going to
I,
be taking pay cuts now. It's one now that
no.
you've made it to this level, it's only going to go up.
Well, Bo Bichette's making more than Aaron Judge at this point.
I know, which is insane. I mean,
Like
and don't
we,
get me wrong, Juan Soto's a phenomenal player, but he shouldn't be making more than Aaron Judge.
right, right. But I mean,
It's
coming
definitely
off the season
closer
that
compared
he
to Bo
had,
Bichette. Yeah,
Bo Bichette, correct? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So it's just the market for baseball is so thrown off, and like the
It's
pitchers, I
insane.
feel like haven't even kind of starting to been getting allocated as much as obviously the bat or the position players. So
Yeah,
it's just weird. It's so weird.
it really is. Yeah.
What I mean, what could you see? Could you see the Yankees making any more moves this offseason? Because right now it feels like we got Bellinger and that's all they're gonna do.
Yeah,
Peralta
at
was the
this
only
point, it
guy I
doesn't
thought we
seem.
were gonna come close to.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it doesn't seem like Cashman's motivated to make any more moves.
No.
It was this whole offseason. It's basically since everybody's been signed, it's just been Cody Bellinger. You haven't heard him talking about
Hmm.
trying to get anybody else, at least specifically. At least
Yep.
not to the same extent as the talk of Bellinger's been about. Um, and honestly, I don't expect anything at this point.
Mm-mm, me neither.
I wouldn't be shocked if we're, either uh, last or second to last in the division this year. I think the only team we
Yeah.
have a solid chance of beating out in the division is Tampa, because
Yeah.
uh, I mean, who knows? Maybe we can beat Boston in the division this year, but honestly, the roster
We'll
didn't change
see.
much, and
No.
they beat us pretty good in the regular season last season.
They killed us.
Um, Toronto killed us.
Toronto's not even close.
Baltimore has improved significantly.
They have.
So we'll see. Yeah, well, I mean, obviously Pete Alonso, and I
Yeah.
think I believe they had a few injuries last year. So we'll see. I
Yeah,
mean,
they
maybe we'll
did.
be ahead of Baltimore too. Um,
I
but
don't.
I mean,
It's just
we'll see.
yeah. Last year off season kind of felt like a minimum off season. Like okay, yeah, this
Yeah.
is this is what should happen. We don't get the guy we want in Juan Soto. He obviously went to the Mets, and then we sign a few guys who can, kind of make up for him. We get, I think we got Max Fried. Yeah, we got Max Fried in the last offseason, and then we get Grisham, who played absolutely phenomenally. Um, we
Bellinger, that's
got
it.
Bellinger, right? And did we get anyone else? Devin Williams. We
Goldschmidt.
got Devin
Yeah.
Williams. Goldschmidt,
And
right.
yeah.
He had a great start and really was solid defensively, at least all year. Um, and that's with guys who, we knew were going to excel and, play better in their next few years. Like Schlittler, we never thought was going to be, or I didn't think was going to be as good as he was, especially towards the last half and in the playoffs. And then
Yeah, I
that's with
agree.
Cole going down. So him coming back, well,
Hmm.
him coming back feels like a move that Cashman kind of feels like he made in this at this point of the offseason where he's like, oh, we're getting Cole back. Yeah, great. That's not a
Yeah.
move. I mean, that's
No.
a what we expected. So and obviously this is all we had. I mean, we've had a few relief pitchers, a couple, maybe like one starting pitcher, I think. I don't remember exactly. I think it's like
Yeah.
Blackburn or something.
Yeah. And we got a guy from the Marlins too, right? Who's solid but been injury
I
prone.
can't remember. Yeah. No one to write home about.
No.
No one where I think could kind of take a game. Um, I mean, I'm excited for the development of Ben Rice again. He really had a
Yeah.
good year. He didn't play as much as what's that?
No, yeah, I was just saying I hope he has another good year.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him, coming in at first a lot more this season with I don't I mean, don't do we have Goldschmidt back?
Honestly, I don't
I
remember.
don't know.
I don't feel like
Yeah,
I
I don't
haven't heard much, but um,
know. It's been
yeah,
so dark this offseason with just all the
it,
of what we have and what was coming
I
back. Because do we
yeah,
have
it
Grisham
is.
back? I have no idea.
I think we got no, we re-signed Grisham, but I believe we overpaid for him.
Yeah,
Was it?
yeah.
Uh,
I think we did. I think you're right. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's just I'm really not getting my hopes up in any extent. Uh, really to kind of how I don't think I had my hopes up too high last year, but this year is definitely lower than last year
oh,
as far as my
absolutely. I
expectations.
wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't necessarily expecting a World Series last year. Definitely underperformed to what I was expecting. At
Hmm.
least at the start of the season. Um, but yeah, this season, yeah. I mean, at
I'm
this
just hoping
point,
for playoffs,
yeah, really, I'm not even sure we'll make the
and
playoffs at the rate we're
I
going.
know, given how the rest of our division is, not to
Hmm.
mention the rest of the AL,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a rough fight. I think NL was much
Yeah.
better in my opinion, but yeah,
Hmm. Absolutely.
I'm excited to watch Garrett Cole come back. Hopefully Judge plays well. I mean, that's always fun to watch an MVP season.
Hmm.
Um, but it's just hard to have guys, not being able to surround him and win games. So
Yeah, it is.
see,
Yes, we will.
you have anything else you'd like to touch up on? Anything? Knicks, Giants, Jets, Yankees.
I think I'm good.
I think I am too. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for watching another episode of New York Sports Report. If you have not, please remember or please subscribe and like the all the recents and follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Thank you guys so much.